Chapter 10, Section 2 is dealing identically with Section 1, so we're still dealing with SOHCAHTOA and right triangles, but today we're going to work on finding the angle. So to find the angle, okay, it's usually denoted by the symbol here, which is theta, and in order to find that, we are going to use the inverse, which is going to be something to the -1 power, okay? So if I wanted to solve tan of theta equals 0.25, okay, what I would need to do is take the inverse of each side. So I would really do tan inverse of tan of theta equals tan inverse of 0.25. Now tan and the inverse cancel, so that gives me theta to equal tan inverse of 0.25. So that is on your calculator. Okay, so right where the tangent button is, you're usually going to have to hit second and then tan, so you can get tan to the -1, 0.25, and you should get 14.03 degrees. Again, if you are not getting that number, then you need to check your mode and make sure you are in degree mode. Okay, so part B, okay, again, all I need to see is that you are taking the cosine inverse this time of 0.8, because that cancels that out. You type that into your calculator and you should get 36.87 degrees. Okay, I will be very picky about the fact that if you do not label that degree, you're going to get it wrong. Okay, so you need to make sure that you understand that you are finding an angle, and angles are measured in degrees, and that you are labeling that for me. Okay, example C says find angle R and N. Okay, it really doesn't matter, so I'll just pick R, no big deal here, and I'm given 18 and 21. So 18 in regards to this angle is my adjacent side. The 21 is across from the right angle, which makes that my hypotenuse, so A and H is cosine. So I can say cosine of R equals 18 over 21. Well, R is my angle, so to get it by itself, I'm going to take the cosine inverse of 18 over 21. You don't need to divide that out at all. You can type that into your calculator just like that is. So second cosine, 18 divided by 21, and you should get 31 degrees. Okay, so I know R is 31. Well, I also know that triangles add up to 180, so I can say N equals 180 minus the 90 for my right angle minus my 31, so I know that R is 69 degrees. I'm sorry, 59. 80, yep, is 59 degrees. Okay, fair enough. So let's try theta in example D. Okay, so again, starting at the angle you're given, okay, I know that 19 is across, so that's my opposite, and 14 is on the side right next to my angle, so that would be at my attached side or my adjacent. So O and A is tangent, so I'm going to say tangent of theta. My opposite side is 19, my adjacent side is 14. So again, to solve for theta, I'm going to take the tan inverse of 19 over 14. Again, you don't need to do anything except type that into your calculator just like that is. And you should get 53.62 degrees. Again, labeling it degrees. Okay, I do want to see this step and this step. Okay, and obviously the answer. So there aren't really any steps you can skip here, okay, to get full credit. Example E, a nice story problem. A 6-foot tall secretary stands 40 feet away from her 24-foot tall office building. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there. So a secretary, pretty. She is 6 feet tall, stands 40 feet away from her 24-foot high office building. What is the angle of depression from the building to the top of her head? Okay, well, an angle of depression really is if you were to draw a horizontal line coming straight out, okay, the angle of depression would be this angle coming down, okay, as if you were looking straight out, it would be that angle coming down. Well, that doesn't really help me because that's on my triangle, but I know by alternate interior angles, those two angles are the same. Okay, so when you get story problems like this, I need to see you draw that kind of dotted imaginary horizontal line and show me that the angle of depression is the one that's coming down. Okay, it's also the same as the one down here, so now I can solve my problem, but to really understand it, okay, it really is this one, even though it's the same. So make sure you draw that. Now I can go ahead and I can say, okay, from this angle, my 24 is my opposite side. My 40 is my adjacent side. So I have O and A, so that's going to give me tangent of my angle is my opposite 24 over my adjacent 40. So to solve for my angle, I need to take the tan inverse of 24 over 40. So that's going to give me an angle of 30.96 degrees. Okay, now in the story problem, it didn't matter that she was 6 feet tall because I was just dealing with the angle. Okay, and it said to the top of her head, so I didn't really have to worry about that 6 at all. So that was kind of an extra piece of information here. So if I look at example F, a plane starts its descent to the airport when it is 132 miles away. However, it takes 150 miles to land. What is the angle of depression? Okay, so if it's 132 miles away, so if here's our plane, again, that's my plane. It's like a bird beak, whatever. Okay, it's 132 miles and here's the airport, right? So it's 132 miles away. However, the plane goes down obviously like this, and it's going to take that 150 miles to do so because you can't just go straight down. So again, the angle of depression, I'm going to go ahead and draw out that like horizontal line, and my angle is actually this one coming down. Again, by alternate interior angles, that's the same as my angle over here. Okay, so from the angle I've given, I know that my 132 is my adjacent, and the 150 across from the 90 is my hypotenuse. So I have A and H, which gives me cosine of my angle, will be 132 over 150. And then again, I would have to take the cosine inverse here, 132 over 150. Type that in my calculator and I should get 28.36 degrees. Again, labeling that degrees so that you show me that you are finding the angle. And one more, example G, a crow flies from his perch atop a tree 24 meters high down to his prey. Hope you're getting really good at drawing your triangles. So here's my crow, bird, prey. I'm just going to label my prey down here. Okay, so the tree is 24 meters high. And it's 15, and the prey is 15 from the base of the tree. So that's going to give me my 15 right here. This time it says the angle of elevation the crow would fly from the ground. So angle of elevation, here's my ground. The angle of elevation is the one that comes up. So the angle of elevation is that one in the down, in that bottom right corner. Okay. As you start to do these, you're going to notice that about 95% of the time the angle is in the bottom right hand corner. So if you're ever not sure, you can go ahead and just kind of place it there and you'll probably get lucky. Otherwise, it's kind of like a check in your brain, like, oh, I did it right. It's usually in that bottom right corner. Okay, so from there, my 24 is opposite and my 15 is adjacent. So that would be opposite and adjacent would be tangent. So I'd say tangent of my angle would be 24 over 15. Again, some of you are maybe thinking it should be 15 over 24 just because it's typically the smaller number on top. That is not true, okay? It's whatever side is opposite over the adjacent. So then my theta will be tan inverse of 24 over 15. So my theta here is 58 degrees. That crow is beelining it down, okay? And your little fun thing today is to try and say the word, not the color, and then vice versa. And then write down any questions if you have some.